Well, today is the day that I'm going to give you the recipe for my famous peach pie. And I can't take credit for it. It was actually given to me by a sweet lady at church. And you know, you cannot beat those potluck suppers from these sweet Christian women. This is to die for. I took these pies to the meetup a couple of weekends ago at Jason's, and they were literally fighting over who was going to get the last piece. I promised them I would make a video on how to make it so their wives can make it for them too. So here we go.
This is the same recipe that I use when I make strawberry pie, blueberry pie, any kind of fruit. The most important part that you need to remember is that you always need to use fresh fruit. I don't make peach pies when it's not seasoned for peaches. The same with strawberry pies. The pies are just not as good. I mean, they're good, don't get me wrong, but they're not near as yummy as they are when the fruit's in season. I've already got my ingredients together, so I'm just gonna give you a shot of what you need. Now everything I tell you is gonna be for 2 pies, so well, I'm making 2 pies. So I'm going to list the ingredients you need for 1 pie, and then you can double it if you make 2. I'm gonna double it too. You need very ripe peaches. Do you see how ripe these suckers are? Super soft. You will need 1 cup of sugar, 3 tablespoons cornstarch, 1 cup of water, and then 4 tablespoons of peach jello, and then a deep dish pie. I've already baked my pies at 350 for about 12 minutes. Right before I did, I thawed and I poked holes with the fork all around the bottom and the rim. Because if you don't, it'll bubble up like this. Do you see what happened? Of course, that doesn't affect my pies, but if you don't do it, the entire pie would have bubbled up. Now the next step is really according to preference. I love the skin on a peach, so I don't peel my peaches when I make a peach pie. I think it adds a little bit more texture and a little bit more flavor. It's just yum. So I'll wash each peach, get all that yucky fuzz off. And then you take a good potato peeling knife. This is my favorite knife. I cannot even tell you what brand it is. It's so old. Yeah, it's not even on here anymore. But I use it to peel potatoes and any other kind of vegetable. And I also use it to cut fresh fruit. Now, it's not good if the fruit is not very fresh. You need something that's gonna be really sharp for that. But then you cut these into cubes. Take that pit out. Good, doesn't it? Pretty easy to pull off if it's ripe enough. Then you pop that pit in your little garbage bag, which you have in the sink, and you cube it. And you do this until your pie crust when you get done. This is what your pie is going to look like before you put in the filling. It ended up being 2 peaches per pie for me. Ideally, you're going to need to have 3 now that I look at it. But y'all, my other peaches that I have are just not ripe enough to put in this pie. Now for the filling, and this is it's not difficult. This is very easy, but this is the most difficult of this recipe, and that's to make sure that you don't get your filling too thick. So let me tell you the ingredients. Like I said before, you need to put in a pot one cup of sugar. But remember, I told you that I'm making 2 pies, so I'm going to put 2 cups sugar. That's a lot of sugar. Then you're going to need 3 tablespoons cornstarch. And this is a heaping tablespoon also. And then 1 cup water. Slowly stir it to get it mixed. And then you're going to turn your burner on about medium high. get it stirred in, get it mixed in. Right now it's going to be very milky. This is going to thicken really quick, and the way that you know it's done is that it stops being that milky white color and it turns clear. And also very thick. You do not have to stir constantly, but you do need to keep a really close eye. Now while I let that thicken, I go ahead and get my Jell-O ready. And don't forget, you need 4 tablespoons per pie. That actually turns out to be a whole box. And I get that ready because as soon as you bring it off the heat and let it cool just a little bit, that's when you add the Jell-O, peach Jell-O. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that is about 3/4 of the Jell-O pack. Because I'm doing 2 pies, I'm gonna add 4 more. Okay, just like I said, it got really thick really quick. So I'm gonna give you a gander at what your pie filling is gonna look like before you add the Jell-O. See how clear it is now? That's when you know it's time to take it off the heat, when it becomes clear in your spoon. And immediately you need to add your Jell-O. Now I let mine cool a little bit. I just burnt the fire out of my arm. Whew. Don't put your arm above the burner where your mixture was heating. Sometimes I don't use my brain. Okay, I have the filling done. I've let it cool a little bit, and now I'm gonna pour it over my pie. Now I use a spoon and I push the chunks around to kind of even it all out. Now I'm going to be honest with you, I just could not stand the thought of not having a full pie, so I went ahead and cut up the 3rd peach for each pie, even though my peaches were not as ripe as I normally like for them to be. So both pies have 3 peaches and then 1 helping of the filling that we made on the stove. Now you put these in the refrigerator and you let it set for a few hours, as long as you would if you were making a homemade strawberry pie. Normally I let it sit for about 3 hours. Let's hope I can resist and not pull it out and get my own piece before then. I'm craving some peach pies. I'm going to include a written down list of the ingredients and the instructions on how to make this pie at the end of the video. So once you make the pies and you let them sit, then if you like Cool Whip, get you a big hunk of Cool Whip, put it on top, and enjoy your southern peach pie. It is so good. Be sure to include in the comments below if you made the pie and what you think about it. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye.